You are about to embark on a journey like no other. From the highest mountain to the mighty ocean and beyond. Join us as we follow herds of wondrous animals and come face to face with 50, yes, 50 of the world's most outrageous animal facts. To understand these facts, we've had to turn to science. Where did they come from? And how did they get so darned outrageous? Well, it all started with nothing. And then something that may have looked a bit like this probably happened. Invisible space dust split by unimaginable forces created planets. The last time we checked, there were 9 of them, including this one, which we like to call Earth. Okay, fast forward to about 4.5 billion years ago, when clouds of moisture condensed into mighty oceans, which somehow spawned molecules. And before long, there were lots of them, each one just a little bit different from the last. Until 1 billion years later, the molecules formed cells. And 2 billion years after that, cells formed complex life forms, which finally evolved into outrageous animals and equally outrageous facts for us to share with each other around the water cooler. Let's start with a few facts about movement, or as scientists say, how things get around. With a top speed of 70 miles per hour, the cheetah is the fastest land animal. But is it? Scientists calculate speed in 2 ways. Either as the time it takes to run a fixed distance, or the time it takes to run multiples of your own body length. Get it? As to which is best, these beautiful minds are unable to agree. But in any case, if we use Formula B, multiples of body length, it opens up the race to bugs. Just watch this. We have 2 bugs renowned for their speed and endurance. The American cockroach, seen here putting in a few hours in the gym, and the Australian tiger beetle, seen here doing absolutely nothing. And here's a scientific demonstration to find out which one is the fastest. The tiger beetle can run at 171 body lengths per second, making it the fastest animal on Earth, easily outpacing a cheetah. It might be the fastest cat in the world, but the poor cheetah can only manage a paltry 25 body lengths per second. Like an expensive sports car, the cheetah is only flashy for short sprints. After a 300-yard dash, it breaks down and has to spend half an hour panting to cool off. Any more exertion would cause its brain to overheat, an experience you may be having right now. And get this, when you calculate speed in terms of body length, a cheetah would have to run at 479 miles per hour to beat a tiger beetle. In terms of endurance, nothing can beat the Eurasian swift. This swift has been in the air for nearly 3 years. She eats, sleeps, and mates while flying. Eventually, she'll land if she wants to lay an egg, or if her wings get tired, or she's just plain bored. And just in case you're taking notes, this is a fact. Swifts can stay aloft for 3 years. And just as soon as this one comes down, we'll go in for her close-up. So far, we've seen facts about some of the most athletic animals on Earth. So what about the least athletic? This is the planet's slowest backboned animal. The sloth from South America only comes down to Earth once a week to go to the bathroom. This one's just did. On the ground, the sloth would take more than an hour to finish a 100-meter sprint. And even when they really kick overdrive to, for example, rush to the aid of their endangered young, they're only 5 times faster than a snail. Ouch. Penguins, on the other hand, might be slightly quicker, but if you study penguin locomotion long enough, you're bound to come across fact number 4, which is penguins are the least efficient walkers in the animal kingdom. They use twice as much energy as other animals do. How come? It's not because of the waddling gait, it's their legs. They're just too short. Elephants, meanwhile, have longer legs, but can't jump. They're too heavy to get all 4 feet off the ground at the same time, even when they sprint in the air. Like the sprinters, the best jumpers are insects. This scene illustrates what would happen if a bizarre accident involving gamma radiation were to cause a flea to grow to human size and then go out for track and field. Booyah! That's equivalent to a human jumping over the Empire State Building. Although agile, insects aren't always known for their smarts. That takes big brains. Ouch! Some animals are even more intellectually challenged. This is especially apparent during stressful situations such as taking the SATs. But no matter how long these starfish have to complete the test, they'll never get into college because the sad but somehow inevitable truth is starfish don't have brains. Everything they do is controlled by a web of nerves. Just like my first girlfriend in college. Sometimes mammals aren't the sharpest pencils in the box either. Take, for example, the tarsier, a tiny primate from Indonesia, which comes out to feed at night. Its eye is bigger than its brain. And now, a chance to test your own intelligence. Can you spot the real fact from these 3 statements about koalas? Is it A, koalas never blink, B, koalas never drink, or C, koalas never stink? Find out the answer when 50 outrageous animal facts return. Welcome back to 50 Outrageous Animal Facts. Before the break, we asked you to identify something that koalas never do. Did you say A, they never blink, B, they never drink, or C, they never stink? The real outrageous fact is B, koalas never drink. They get all the liquid they need from chewing eucalyptus leaves, which are 50% water. But animals can't live on eucalyptus alone, which brings us to some outrageous facts of life. As you're about to see, reproduction may sometimes seem a little strange. For example, these lions are mating. Lion mating lasts an average of 6 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's all over now. But here's the outrageous part. They mate every 15 minutes for a week. But that's just for 1 week, every 2 years. Oh.
Mélodie d'amour chante le cœur de Manuel qui bat corps à cœur perdu. Mélodie d'amour chante le cœur de Manuel qui vit corps à cœur déçu.
The hard clam is a sexual magician. All hard clams start life as males, but they can change sex. But they can change only once. The operation is irreversible. Courtship in the animal kingdom can be complex. While some animals are attracted by physical prowess, others look for artistic merit. Take the bowerbird from Australia. It's attracted by the color blue. To get a date, the male must first build a temple of twigs, which he decorates, painting the walls with his own saliva and blue berry juice. And then come the tchotchkes. Lots of them. Blue, mainly. Only when he has enough blue stuff will a female visit his love pad. And if she's impressed, they'll mate. So fact number 13 is, the female satin bowerbird is only attracted by the color blue. But heartbreak, too, is an outrageous fact of life in the animal kingdom. Let's look at pigeons. They're fun-loving animals that enjoy each other's company, the life of the party. But on their own, they can't lay an egg. But even when they're alone, there is hope. See? Her reflection is all she needs to start her laying eggs once more. I love happy endings. Our next fact comes straight from the bottom of the sea, courtesy of the lobster. Could it be that their teeth are in their stomachs? No, not outrageous enough for us. Our fact number 15 is, 1 in every 4 million lobsters is bright blue. Think you have a nose for outrageous facts? Well, answer this one. The horn of the rhinoceros is made from which of the following ingredients? A, bone, B, hair, or C, straw? Find out which fact is fact when 50 outrageous animal facts returns. Welcome back to 50 outrageous animal facts. Before the break, we asked you whether the horn of the rhinoceros is made from A, bone, B, hair, or wait a minute. Clues can also be obtained by careful observation. This is a mammal. All mammals have a common external feature that makes them easy to spot. Can you guess what it is? Here's a clue. Here's another one. The answer is, all mammals have facial hair. Even Flipper here. Animal fact 16. Dolphins have mustaches. Although they lose this hair soon after they're born. All mammals have hair, even if it's sparse and wispy, and they use it in lots of outrageous ways. Take camouflage. It's important for predators and prey. But here's an enigma. Tigers have striped skin under their fur, but zebras don't. Geckos walk up vertical surfaces using hair. How? Billions of teeny tiny hairs on their feet, which use the electrical forces of subatomic particles to stick to things. Apparently. It's amazing. Many things in the animal kingdom seem so outrageous because they are so perfectly designed. Take the humble egg. Did a lot of thought go into its simple design? In this experiment, we can see how even the standard hen's egg can withstand a pressure of 50 pounds per square inch across its longest axis. However, here's something you may have noticed the last time you tried to fry an egg on the roof of your house. Another amazing facet of egg design. Its shape. Because this bird nests on the ground, it lays a round egg, which rolls easily, and would bring sadness here. Birds that live on cliffs lay eggs that do this, because they're all pointy. One of the most amazing examples of natural design is the elephant trunk, which is so sensitive it can pick up a sewing needle. Though why they would want to take up cross-stitching is still a matter of scientific debate. Of course, learning to use the trunk takes time. Baby elephants need 6 months to get up to speed on their own noses. Now, how about this for design? Theoretically, by beating its head against a tree at up to 20 times a second, this bird should be as loopy as a heavyweight boxer in round 87. However, scientists have discovered that woodpeckers have a spongy shock absorber behind their beaks. Not far away is another incredible piece of machinery. We're looking for someone who can chop down a 10-inch diameter tree in 6 minutes using only its teeth. It's the beaver. Gee, Wally, beavers can do real neat stuff like chew through trees a yard thick in as little as an hour and a half. Timber! To accomplish this incredible amount of chewing, their teeth never stop growing. In fact, if beavers never wore down their chompers by chewing on trees, their teeth would eventually grow through their bottom jaws. Right, now let's take a quick look at the graceful, sure-footed, and agile orangutan. Almost 50% of orangutans have fractures and broken bones caused by falling out of trees. So hang on tight, little guy. There are more outrageous facts ahead, including a look at size. So here's a question about the Earth's tallest animal. Humans and giraffes have one thing in common. Is it A, we both attract females by flexing our pecs? B, we both have the same number of bones in our necks? C, we both get heartburn from eating Tex-Mex? Can you guess which one's right? We'll have the answer when 50 outrageous Welcome back to 50 outrageous animal facts. Before the break, we asked you which of the following things giraffes have in common with human beings. A, we both attract females by flexing our pecs. B, we both have the same number of bones in our necks. Or C, we both get heartburn from eating too much Tex-Mex. The answer is B. Giraffes have the same number of neck bones as a human. 7. Fact: outrageousness tends to increase with size. This zoo video shows how being the tallest animal in the world affects birth. Ouch, that's a 6-foot drop from womb to floor. While the calf shakes off his fall, here are a few more facts about size. The Kodiak bear is the largest land carnivore in the whole wide world. How's this for a heavyweight match? A single bear, like this one, can weigh more than 1,900 pounds, the combined weight of the 12-man U.S. gymnastics team, which unfortunately this guy could never try out for because he's a Canadian. But Kodiak bears are dwarfed by blue whales. They are the biggest creatures that have ever lived on Earth. Ever. More than 110 feet in length, or 7 giraffes laid nose to tail. It would take a sloth half an hour to move from one end to the other. The blue whale's arteries are big enough for a small man to swim through, and its heart is as big as a small car. One blue whale can weigh 174 tons. That's the weight of 22 bull elephants, or 16 diplodocus, or 153,249 guinea pigs, or 1,590,493 Goliath beetles. The Goliath beetle is the biggest insect alive today, weighing almost as much as a hamburger, with cheese. These African beetles eat dead plant material. This one's probably after the lettuce, or maybe the pickle. Goliath beetles are bigger than newborn kangaroos. At birth, the baby red kangaroo is the size of a jelly bean. The young kangaroo starts to make his way over the fur towards his mother's pouch, where the milk is. The journey is equivalent to a newborn human baby crawling 300 feet across a shag-pile carpet. To reach adulthood, this baby, we've called him Joey, will grow to 60,000 times his present weight. And this is fact number 27. From birth to adulthood, kangaroos grow more than any other mammal. If a human baby of 7.5 pounds in weight were to increase in size at the same rate, he would end up the size of a blue whale, which, as you know, is the biggest creature that has ever lived on Earth. Ever. Size facts are not just about being very big or very small. Let us introduce the paradoxical frog. The African elephant is, of course, the largest land animal alive today, and it's also the one that produces the most dung. Elephants are renowned as dung producers due to their poor digestion. A bull elephant can produce 220 pounds of dung a day. That's the same weight as an adult orangutan or 22 sloths. The world's population of African elephants could produce 50,000 tons of dung in one day. A week's worth would weigh more than the Empire State Building and smell a whole lot worse. But what happens to all this dung? This reconstruction might shed some light. In 1973, a scientist named Joe Anderson recorded the action as it happened at a small 3-pound pile of elephant dung. In 2 hours, that small pile of dung attracted 16,000 dung beetles of various shapes and sizes, who between them ate and buried it completely. These birds are called great tits. Yes, that's what they're called. Unlike elephants, they clear up their own poop. Their chicks produce in excess of 500 droppings per week, but they don't need diapers. Gelatinous sacks can be disposed of away from the nest. And they're biodegradable, too. This is the thorny devil from Australia, which will only eat ants. Up to 3,000 in one meal. But it will only eat them one at a time, at 45 APM. Frogs have a unique digestive problem. They can't vomit. To get rid of what they've just eaten, they have to throw up their entire stomachs. These men are using a very expensive computer to extract the facts from a really interesting animal. For example, the hummingbird can fly backwards, but in achieving this feat, it has created 2 outrageous facts. Scientist A is counting how many times it beats its wings to stay aloft. Scientist B is much more interested in how much it must eat. And the results are in. We can now reveal that a hummingbird flaps its wings at 100 times per second. And to have enough energy to do this, it must eat twice its body weight in nectar every day. See if you can guess which of the following is correct. Did intensive scientific research discover that you could increase the milk yield of a cow by 3% by A, stroking her with metal tongs, B, using plastic nasal prongs, or C, playing her Simon and Garfunkel songs? We'll tell you the answer when 50 Outrageous Animal Facts returns, only on Animal Planet. Welcome back to 50 Outrageous Animal Facts. We asked you whether a cow's milk yield could be increased by A, stroking her with metal tongs, B, using plastic nasal prongs, or C, playing her Simon and Garfunkel songs. The answer was C. Milk yield increases by 3% when cows listen to Simon and Garfunkel.
Scarborough Fair, parsley, sage, rosemary.
Many people like folk music, but others find listening to the sounds of nature a better way to relax and escape the hubbub and general riot that is modern life. But beware, the song of the blue whale, though pleasant, is the loudest sound of any animal on Earth, ever. It reaches 188 decibels, as loud as a rocket launch. The whale uses this sound to communicate. Communication is often a problem, but Mother Nature has some interesting solutions. Wolves hunt in packs and let each other know what's going on by howling. But in a valley, echoes can make these sounds confusing. That's why a wolf's howl doesn't echo. It's at the precise frequency to stop this happening. Sound isn't the only way to get your message across. This animal can't speak, yet he has told all his friends how to find him. Can you guess how he did it? That's right. He left messages on lampposts in the form of pheromones in his urine. Lots of animals leave messages in this way. But once again, the animals that are best at it are insects. These leaf-cutter ants are on their way home after a hard day cutting leaves. They have walked the equivalent of 30 ant miles without a compass. Luckily, though, they follow a trail of pheromones they left on their way out. Just 1 milligram of this chemical is enough to leave a trail the ants could follow 3 times around the Earth. Moth antennae can pick up minute quantities of sexual pheromones in the parts per billion quantities. Male emperor moths are so sensitive, they can detect a female from more than 5 miles away. Though by the time he gets there, she may be gone. Finding Mrs. Right isn't easy, especially if you're small, whiny, and there are millions of you. Male mosquitoes find females by listening to the sounds of their wing beats. Females' wings have a faster beat. They can find the perfect partner even if there are millions of mosquitoes of different species in a single swarm. And that's despite the fact mosquitoes' wings flap at up to 1,000 times per second. This is another incredible insect, the honeybee. To collect enough pollen to make a 1-pound jar of honey, a single bee would have to tap about 2 million flowers and fly about 50,000 miles, the equivalent of twice around the world. Insects are amazing, but so are spiders, which aren't insects. They're arachnids, which is sort of like being an insect, but the main difference is you have 8 legs instead of 6. All spiders breathe air through special holes at their back end and live on land, where there's lots of air. Except the diving spider. It lives underwater, but still manages to breathe air. How? By making a diving bell from its web, in which it keeps bubbles of air it brings from the surface. So fact 40 is, a spider invented scuba diving. Being an air-breathing animal that spends time underwater can cause lots of problems. This turtle has more than 1,000 miles of treacherous ocean to cover and will spend much of the time underwater, but he still has to come to the surface to breathe. However, this turtle, the Fitzroy River turtle from Australia, has a neat trick. Just watch this short educational film.
I'm the Fitzroy River turtle. I can breathe.
The turtle can absorb up to 2/3 of its oxygen through its veiny, cavernous rectum. Another challenge for air-breathing animals is how to breathe if you sleep underwater. Take manatees, for example. They have no predators, a stable, warm environment, and plenty of food. Their problem is how to breathe while asleep. But as they only take a breath once every 20 minutes, they can snooze in between, which is what they do. Dolphins, however, never have enough time to stop for a nap. But the clever animals have learned to sleep with 1/2 of their brain at a time, so they're always able to come to the surface to breathe and have fun. We'll be back soon with some facts about these animals. Ugh. And that one too. But first, here's another animal with an outrageous way of breathing. These fish are called mud skippers. They don't breathe air, but fill their cheeks with water to get lots of lovely oxygen. But mud skippers have another amazing feature. Is it A, they can climb trees? B, they use their fins to shell peas? Or C, they suck blood from your knees? Join us for the answer when 50 outrageous animal facts returns only on Animal Planet. Welcome back to 50 outrageous animal facts. We asked you, what was the mud skipper's amazing secret? Was it A, they can climb trees? B, they use their fins to shell peas? C, they suck blood from your knees? The answer is A. Mud skippers can actually climb trees using their sucker-like pectoral fins. But none of them seem to be climbing right now. Maybe it's a union thing. So far, we've looked at leaping, sleeping, girth, and birth, so it seems fitting that in the end we turn to death. Australian crab spiders have an interesting way of celebrating Mother's Day. After they've hatched, the baby spiders begin eating their own mother. Starting at her legs, they suck out her life juice until she is completely bled dry. No doubt they'll be in therapy for years. Now let's look at the South American killifish. The mother killifish lays a batch of drought-resistant eggs before the pool dries up. And then, because there's no water, the mother dies. But this fact only becomes truly outrageous when you discover that even when these fish are kept in an aquarium under optimum conditions, after they've bred, they die anyway. Octopuses also die shortly after they breed, but it's been discovered that if the animals are neutered, like this one, they can live to a ripe old age. Really bored. Life in general can be really scary. In the world today, an average of 10 people a year are killed by sharks. But at least 100 times more people are trampled to death by cows. Death is but a fact of life. And here's another. All mammals have close to 1 billion heartbeats before they die. A mouse has about 1 billion, but has to fit them all into 850 days, so its heart beats very fast. Whereas an elephant has 75 years for its billion, so its heart beats very slowly. Luckily, humans are the exception. We get 3 billion. That's 2 billion 1, 2 billion 2. It wasn't always like this. The poor caveman got the same as everyone else. Uh-oh. Somebody better call Wilma! But now that we know how to take care of ourselves, we live 3 times as long, which is nice. The Earth is full of exciting mammals, and sometimes there can be quite a few of them all in one place. Take prairie dogs. There's one, and another. And yeah, a couple more over there. The largest prairie dog colony on record was in Texas and was 100 miles wide and 250 miles long. It contained the same number of individuals as the combined human population of the U.S., Canada, South Korea, and Spain. That's about 400 million individuals. Now imagine Earth in the sky, like a big pizza pie. That's it. If we were to divide this Earth pizza up fairly among all the different kinds of animals, taking into account how many species of each kind there are, then with 4,675 species, mammals would get this much pizza. Fish get this much. Birds, this much. This is for all the stuff we're not interested in right now. But insects have 740,000 species, so they get this much pizza. This is fact 50. Sadly, that was the last of the 50 outrageous animal facts. Oh, but I forgot. The fish from the end of part 5. And this is really incredible. This guy can rotate his...
Up next, witness.